Okay. You guys might not know this because I'm not going to edit that part in of what happened before when I first tried making this video. Because I was sitting there in a parking lot, the same parking lot I always go to, and all of a sudden, there's this person pacing up and down, and I'm like, okay, that's suspicious. It's an empty parking lot, nobody's there, pacing up and down. It's Thanksgiving Day. And I'm like, okay, that's a little suspicious. But I was trying to, like, ignore that, and all of a sudden then there was this other car that started pulling up. They got really close to me and started slowing down a lot, and then I was like, yep, I don't trust this, and I jumped into the front seat, and then I just drove off, which is probably a good idea. It's smart. Anyways, so a few years after I got my license, I was driving on the highway, and I was heading home, surrounded by a few cars. There wasn't that many. There was like 4 cars. There was a white car right in front of me, this like black car over to the right of me, and then I had like 2 cars behind me. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there chilling, listening to music. I'm a little tired, and then all of a sudden I just like snap awake, and I have this feeling of like something is about to happen and I need to be aware of it. And then for some reason, not only did I think of that, I also had the realization of like, I just thought to myself, I look at the car in front and I'm like, that car right in front of me, the white car right in front of me, is about to crash. Like I don't know how I knew it. I just felt like I did. I was like, that car right there is going to crash. And I'm like looking around, I start getting really, really on edge. I'm like looking all my mirrors, making sure that there's a whole bunch of space for me. And as soon as I look in the right, I think I might be getting sick. As soon as I look in the mirror to my right, all of a sudden in my peripheral, I see a little jolt, as if somebody yanked the wheel to the side and then like straightened out immediately. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening right now. It's about to happen. And then as soon as I look back at that white car, it goes, crashes into the median, spins out. We're going over 60 miles an hour. We're going 70 at least. Not 70. We're going 70. And I go, and the car, as soon as it spins out, it goes, hits the median, spins around almost right in front of me. Like literally the car was right. Oh my God. It was like 20 feet away from me. And then thankfully I like swerved out the way. I swerved out the way a little bit. The car spun into all the other intersections. Hit the side again, hit the other side. So it goes from this median, goes, and then it goes, spins out and almost hits me again. So it does that. I dodge it. It spins that way again. Like, I don't even know how it had that much momentum to spin that, like, oh my gosh. Because then it hits the median, comes back around at me, and then it spins. I literally see the car, basically at this point it's in the wrong lane. The front end of it is where the back end of my car is. And then there was the black car that was behind me is speeding up, and they like are right next to me. Me and this car were literally like 2 feet away from each other. And we were just hoping that we weren't crashing into that guy. I was hearing debris just flying everywhere. Like, you know when you're driving and there's like dust or rocks or one of those trucks in front of you and you hear a dun 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 dun? That's exactly what was happening. All this little scraps from this car that just got into an accident going dun 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 on my car. And I dodged it. I freaked out. That was the first time I've ever seen an accident. It was way too close of a call. Like, I've always assumed if I was going to see an accident for the first time, it was going to be from a distance. Like, oh, that guy over there just crashed. It was right next to me, right in front of me. But then the weird part about that is my intuition. How did I know that was going to happen? How does my body, how does my mind, what sense was being used that I knew instantaneously that car right in front of me is going to crash? Like 20 seconds before it even crashed. There was another time I was hiking in Colorado with my neighbor, and we're taking this turn around this like little, like, there's this cliff kind of. It was like a mountain, and then right underneath it, okay, there, I got to do it in the camera. It was a mountain like this. Right underneath it was like a kind of like shape. So it was like, part of it was going above where, yeah, anyways. So the trail goes like underneath it, like around it a little bit. Goes like, and while this goes, so we start walking this trail, and as soon as we take the turn, my neighbor and his girlfriend go past it, like they take the turn with ease. As soon as I get to the turn, I stop. I don't know what it was. I was just like, something is right around this corner. I was like, there is a bear in this corner. As soon as I turn this corner, there's going to be a bear. And I saw my neighbors were super ahead of me, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna man up, take a few deep breaths, and I'm not gonna run towards them. I'm gonna walk towards them. In case there is something there, if I run, I'm getting chased. And I run to them and I meet up, and then I'm just like, my neighbor is talking, and he's like, yeah, I don't feel safe around here not having any bear spray. And I'm like, okay, all right. So he feels something too. There's a sense. He has a sense right now that's active too. And we start walking back, and as soon as we start taking the turn again, now I'm staring off at this little part of the turn, because you know how the mountain goes like this? Now if you're looking at it from head on, it goes like this. It goes down, it curves inward, and then down. So it's literally a den. It's a den. It's a den. And I look inside of there. 6 minutes already? Dang. I look inside of there and there's a bear. Like, I don't see the bear, but my neighbor saw its eyes. And I'm like, okay. Intuition. How did I know that was there? And that's what the video's about. The video in itself is intuition. That gut feeling that something's there. Which is why when you get into relationships with people, and you will feel whether something feels off or not. Or when you meet people in general, like, there's some times where you meet people and you'll just have that sense of, okay, I don't know about this. I don't know if I should trust this person. Your gut feeling. I think your gut feeling and intuition are probably one and the same. I think your gut feeling is the physical, because every emotion has a physical form and a mental form. Yeah. Take stress, for example. Wait, anxiety, for example. Anxiety. All right, we're going to take anxiety, for example. Because stress is the physical form of anxiety. And then after that physical emotion goes away, anxiety kicks in. Every emotion you feel has a 90-second, window. Like, every emotion you feel only lasts 90 seconds. After that, it's your brain that's keeping it going. Anytime you're happy, that only lasts physically only lasts 90 seconds. After that, your brain is positive, your brain is thinking. At that point, it becomes less of a physical feel and more of a mental stimulation. And I think that intuition is the exact same thing as trusting that gut feeling. I think that gut feeling is just the physical emotion or physical feeling of that emotion. I think physical feeling, intuition's mental. It's like a different sense. But I don't know, it's weird, because how does one know that's going to happen? How are we able to consciously how are we able to have dreams? Because I consider this to be part of intuition in a sense too. Where you dream about something happens, and in real life, all of a sudden you get the déjà revé. Déjà revé is when you experience something you've already experienced before in a dream, to a T. Perfect. Literally no difference. The way conversation flows, everybody's had it. Some people call it déjà vu. It is déjà vu. Except déjà vu and déjà revé are different. Déjà vu is the sensation of, I feel like I've been here before. I feel like we've had this conversation before. Déjà revé is when you know for a fact that you had a dream about this exact situation. Déjà revé is dreams. Déjà vu is, I don't even know what déjà vu is. in regards to that. But yeah, how does one even dream about something and that dream comes true? It's almost as if fate and the world itself already has a script, and that we kind of catch glimpses of bits and pieces that have already been recorded, and that you will re-experience again for a second time. It makes me think of like the theory on death. What if the last few seconds that your brain is going through during the dying process, because everybody says you see your whole life flash before your eyes. What if that's like true? What if when you're dying, those 90 or however long it is that your brain is going through every single memory has already happened? Like, what if I already died and I'm just going through every single memory I've already made previously? That could explain intuition. That could explain deja vu. Except it doesn't quite explain intuition, because intuition, you can change the course of whatever's happening based on the way you react. It also makes me think of consciousness as a whole. Consciousness is like, how am I going to go about this? Let's say everybody has superpowers, okay? Have you ever heard of this thing called the telepathy tapes? It's these kids that they are nonverbal. They can't really express themselves through their speech very easily. And because of that, and blind. That's important too, because if you're nonverbal and blind, you can have superpowers. So these telepathy tapes are people who have this skill of being able to kind of tap into other people's consciousness, kind of read their minds, kind of. You should look it up, because it's actually crazy. But these are people who can genuinely read minds. And I think that's all because at that point, if they're blind and nonverbal, they're kind of in a constant meditative state where they're constantly, the only world they know is the world that's in their head. And I think that once you know the world that's in your head, you can use it to manipulate the actual physical world around you, which is kind of fire. Like, that's why people meditate. That's why all these things about like the third eye and being able to shape your own reality, manifest your own reality. If I want to be this content creator, if I constantly am viewing myself like I'm already a content creator, I've already made it, then I'm going to succeed. And I'm going to prove it if this is something I want to keep doing. I think so. But I think everybody has superpowers that are untapped into. My friend Jonathan would know. If he was here, hey Jonathan, he knows about the whole thing with everybody having superpowers. He theorized it before I even got put on to this idea. He was like, what if everybody already has superpowers? I think every human being has superpowers. And I'm like, yeah, like honestly, the more I think about it, the woman who can save her child by lifting a car, that's a superpower. It may be kicked up or spawned in by adrenaline, but it's all mental. I just had this like weird like third person feeling, like I was watching myself in third person. It was kind of weird. But I don't understand how intuition and all these thoughts actually work. Do we have an already planned fate? Do we have quantum knowledge? Do we have an ability to see partially into the future? Maybe not physically see, but mentally see into the future where your brain just knows how things happen to turn out. Because that's one theory people have for deja vu, is maybe it's your brain basically mapping out the most likely scenarios. And if that's the case, intuition could be one and the same. Maybe your brain is just picking up all these senses you don't physically realize it's picking up, and then it just already sorts out, this is the most likely thing to happen in this situation. I think we have 6 senses or something like that. I don't know, but it's really, I don't know, it's always been interesting to me. Quantum stuff, too, has been interesting to me. Like, quantum immortality, that theory is insane. That theory is, imagine, there's no good way to, like, describe it without giving an example. Quantum immortality is basically the theory that you will never actually die. When you die, your consciousness doesn't. Your consciousness instead switches to a different reality of a version that is still alive of you. Maybe in that car accident where I saw that person turn and I had that intuition to dodge it, maybe in another reality I wasn't quite lucky. Maybe in the maybe I just transferred realities right then. Maybe that moment I swapped realities. Because maybe that moment the reality I was in killed me off. Therefore, the reality I am in, I consciously got transported to this current one. And here's why people think that theory is like, here's an example of how it works. It's basically, imagine there's one person and he has one button in front of him. And this button, every single time you press it, has a 50-50 chance of killing you. And so, you press that button. You don't die. Okay? Then statistically, most likely, the next time I press this button, I will. You press it again, and you don't die. So, maybe you just got lucky. Maybe it's a 50-50 shot. You know? Maybe there's a chance I happen to just get it again. Press it again, you don't die. Press it again, you don't die. You can keep constantly pressing the button and you won't die. At this point, it's 50-50, so you had to have died at some point. Why didn't you? Maybe your consciousness just transported realities and maybe it only chooses the one that you live on in. You could press that an infinite amount of times and you won't die because that version of you isn't the one that dies in the scenario. It's kind of a cruel test because the only one who would actually know if it were to be true would be the tester, would be the one pressing the button. Because maybe I press the button and somebody who's looking at me sees me die. They won't know whether or not I actually transported realities or I'm living on, or if I just 100% died. You know? It's a very cool theory. I really, really, really like that theory. It's very, very interesting, and I do not want to put that to the test. But maybe that's... It's also a cruel punishment, because every time you press that button, yeah, you're living on, but you're killing yourself in countless realities. Countless realities. Oh, golly. Oh, man. Oh my God. Oh, sneezer. Having a sneezer. Uncontrollable sneezing. Holy cow, dude, when I sneeze, I want to sleep. Oh my gosh, it takes all my energy. Okay. I don't know what else I was going to say. intuition's weird. I just thought it'd be a cool little story time, cool video to just start talking a little bit about intuition and some of the theories behind it. I'm sure there's more theories behind it, but I'll make those in another video. I'll hang my head out. I think that's the end. I think the sneezer just sealed it. Oh my god. How many people have this happen to them? This is a daily basis for me. This happens every day. Every day, like 1 or 2 times. 1 to 3 times, I guess I should say 1 to 3 times. I just start uncontrollably sneezing. Okay. Okay. Alright. Well. Yeah. There was something else I feel like I wanted to talk about when it came to intuition and just knowing things. I guess, I don't know, tap into dreams. That's why I've been trying to dream more and write down my dreams more. Because when you wake up and you write down your dreams, you start subconsciously remembering them, even when you don't write them down. And you just remember them so vividly that they're hard to forget. And it's weird because I also have times where, you know how they say that your brain frees up space, that memories and stuff that it deems unnecessary? It's just not true, I don't think. I don't think that's true at all. Because sometimes when I go to bed, I sit there and oh my god, that hurt. I sit there and I tell myself, I'm like, okay, think back to don't give a specific time frame. I mean, you can if you want to relive something, but when I close my eyes, I just think to myself, show me something that I've already, like, show me an old memory I've forgotten about. Show me a memory that I didn't even remember happened. And all of a sudden, an image gets painted in my head, and I'm back in a memory I completely forgot about. This happened one time. I remembered a few things because of that. I remembered one time I was at this party. I was at this party and there wasn't a lot of people there. It was at my uncle's house before he moved. And it was a memory I completely forgot about. He had a party. I remember the exact way his layout was. That day, I was inside of his like convertible. First time I was ever in a convertible. That day I remember being in that convertible, and that was a memory I completely forgot about until I did that. There was another one too where I was sitting there and oh my gosh, I just had one come up right then. No, whoa, that was a dream. I just had a dream that I forgot about that happened ages ago, just spawned back in. I can't describe that dream though, it's a little crazy. But I did that. I've done that a few times where you can, I think everything that you've experienced, every memory, every dream, you always remember. I don't think they ever clear 100. I don't think they ever go away from your brain. Your brain has a catalog of every single memory you've ever experienced. You just got to tap into it. Tap into dreams. Try to get yourself to dream of something, anything. Right? When you wake up, write down what happened in your dream. It makes your dreams so much more vivid. It makes you remember every single dream. And the whole reason why I'm doing it is so that I can write down something that happened in my dream, and one day, because it's going to happen one day, where I wake up, write down that dream, and all of a sudden I'm going to have a sensation of, I dreamt about this. The exact conversation, everything about this. And I want to be able to look inside of the book I wrote, or I want to look inside of the dream journal and find that dream. Because that would trip everybody out. It would trip me out. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like this is something that already happened. Especially if I have it, if I can get to a point where I remember dreams so vividly that I remember the words spoken word for word, that'd be crazy. That'd be insane. People would probably look at me and be like, how did you know that? Because I don't think there's a lot of people in this world that really understand that there's some, in a way, supernatural things going on. Like, ignorance is bliss. It's easy to live in a comfortable world. It's easy to ignore all the weird things, all the differences. It's easy to ignore these like subtle signs, these feelings you get that I've been here before, I remember this happening already. It's just easy to just be like, oh, that's something that just happens, and just block it out. Because if you looked into why that is, it might shatter the reality that you're currently living in. I fear that if I tap into that, and that actually happens, I'm going to develop a mindset of history's already written. You know? And it's not going to harm me in any way. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm not going to get depressed. But I think it would break my reality for sure. I would start viewing everything as already scripted. And that is a lot more uncomfortable. It's a lot more uncomfortable knowing that everything you do, everything you say, has already been chosen for you, rather than ignoring all that and living in a world where it feels like you don't know what's going to happen. Which I like the feeling of not knowing what's going to happen. Some like things happen and I'm surprised. But I don't think it'll break your reality to that point, because I don't think you're ever going to know every single thing in your life that's going to happen. You're only going to know specific, like really specific, generally minute bits and pieces. But that's it. Tap into dreams. Tap into meditate. I've been meditating every now and then. It's kind of nice because once you meditate too, you start dreaming easier. You start remembering your dreams easier. You could literally, there's been times where I've picked up, like I've had these like random visions of things when meditating, and I go back and a few days later I'm having a dream where all of a sudden it merges together. You can check that out in my dreams video. It's story time, dreams, and the subconscious. Because there's things in this world that people don't want to know about. There's things in this world that me making this video, me explaining this, people probably look at me and they're like, this guy's off the rails. He's marbles. Because it's different. It's not something people generally are used to. It's something that society as a whole has collectively agreed to ignore. And me exploring this, viewing it, experiencing it, seeing if what I'm thinking to be true is actually true, I'm going to be viewed as an outcast. I'm going to be viewed as weird. People aren't going to, people don't like that. I'm going to be viewed crazy. When in reality, maybe I'm not the crazy one. Being crazy is not a bad thing. Being crazy is good. Being different is good. People are afraid of being different. People are afraid of speaking their own voice. People are afraid of speaking their own opinions, acting the way they want to act. They want to conform to the way that society and everybody around them has been normalized as. I just lost my train of thought. Rather than actually being different, being themselves. It's a lot easier to conform to a way people want you to act, be, things they want you to do, rather than you going out there and going against the tide. Going against the tide is so much harder to do, but in the end, it's so much more fulfilling. So do that. Get out there and live, you know? I made another song, by the way. But when I close my eyes, I see you right there by my side. It's a good song. Anyways, peace out.